Hi guys, Scotty here with another DBZ Dokkan Battle video for you, and today we're taking a look at the new game mode that has just dropped for Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle called Dokkan Frontier, or Survival Mode, kind of calling it the same thing here. Right now we have the Planet Namek Saga available, and pretty much everything about this mode is a bit different how the game usually works, right down to the team building. They've been pretty extensive with the guides and how it works, with different tutorials being loaded up when you load in, but we're going to take a look here today. So there'll be general missions for you to get done, which will just allow you to go through the different nodes. Now, when I say nodes, there's a big world map you can explore here that's going to get you to different nodes, different fights, and you can explore kind of your own path with a couple of branching paths to harder fights on each side. There's currently 4 sort of world stages with around 11 nodes total that you can fight. Now you get 2 types of nodes. You get nodes like this one here, node number 2, which has just got no background or anything, and all you have to do is clear the preceding node to get there. And then you've got a node like this with the red background, the red little notch around it, and there will be a condition to get those nodes unlocked. So the regular looking ones you'll just naturally do as you progress through the stage, but the red ones you have to be more specific and do certain actions in previous nodes to actually unlock them. So you can click on them to see the unlock conditions, and the fights will generally be harder and should give better rewards. Now clicking on a node to enter a phase, you'll notice that the team building screen is completely different. You're going to need to build a team A and a team B with 3 characters on each team. Each team needs its own leader skill to activate for the rest of the team, so the first slot will always be that team's leader skill, and for the group A, and then first slot for group B will also be that team's leader skill. So you do need to take that into account. You need to make sure that your leader skills are activating for each team, and we don't have any friend leads whatsoever, so you're not going to see as high numbers. Now what Dokkan has gone and done, which is great, is if you don't have every single unit available here, they are offering special guests. So you can put up to 5 special guests on your team. You can't build an entire team out of special guests. You will need at least 1 member from your side to go on this team, so there'll be restrictions. For instance, we're doing Planet Namek Saga, so right now we're restricted to Planet Namek Saga category units. So we've got to build a team here that includes Gohan and Krillin on one of the sides, and then the rest can be anyone from Namek Saga that you want. We can do a Ginyu team build, we can do Freezers, we can do whatever we want, as long as it's Namek Saga, and you are making sure that you bring the correct leader skills. So just double check your leader skills before you go deploying into that first slot. So for instance here, we're going to go with a Namek Saga / like Freezer on the left side, and on the right side we're going to go more a Ginyu side. These are not by any means the most amazing teams, just showing what we can build and how you should be doing it. Once you have your team built here, we can hop into whichever stage we want to. We're going into node 1 here, just against Freezer Force soldiers, and we'll see we get a little cutscene, well not really a cutscene, but a little voice line here as we load in. Quite cool. So you'll notice things are quite different here. The main thing to notice is going to be immediately that each of your units has their own distinct health pool. It's no longer a shared health pool total, and we'll talk about intensity level and all that in just a moment. But we take a look and we see that we've got the different individual health pools here for each unit. If a unit takes too much damage and they die, you don't lose the run immediately. That unit becomes lost, and that unit cannot do anything, can't activate anything. Now we come to the next mechanic that's been added here, and that is called intensity level, and it's this yellow button down at the bottom right. For every turn that you keep the same group on rotation, your intensity level can increase, and it increases per team. So you can have a higher intensity on one team and a lower intensity on another. That's sort of the whole thing. As the intensity gets too high on a certain team, you spend a point to actually swap over to the other team, and you can either spend a single point to just swap, you can spend 2 points to swap and get a heal, and you can spend 3 points to swap and get an attack and defense boost for that team. So it's up to you. So if you want to just swap over and just you're confident that the other team will win, or if you want to boost, or if you want to heal. Now, you only replenish those charges on a Dokkan attack, so it's probably going to be quite rare that you are replenishing a lot of those charges, so you might need to go a higher intensity level on one team, maybe get to level 2 or 3 depending on the effect, and later on, like for instance this node has very easy intensity effects, it's just like -1 key, but they get a bit crazy, like cancelling dodge, cancelling supers, all that, and you'll need to swap out your team to go to a lower intensity state to continue fighting, otherwise you will feel the wrath of those intensity effects. Now, something else to touch on in these different fights here is, per different fight, it makes sense to go and look at the passives of your characters, because some of these characters will now have a survival only part of their passive. Like for instance, when the character is KO'd, we revive with 70% HP recovered. Obviously I'm simplifying a little bit there, but we do have different survival passives now, like Vegeta here gets attack plus 800% and defense 300% in survival mode. So very powerful in these modes, so you do want to be checking it as well when you're building your teams, just see if there are any different new survival passive parts, and that can help immensely in these fights if they really are getting you down. And yeah, we'll have guides for the harder difficulty fights for sure, and some of the harder missions and all of that. I'll definitely be doing guides on all of those, so stay tuned for that, but just something to help you out now if you are struggling a little bit. Now, once you defeat the boss and you finish the stage, you will be rewarded with these bookmarks, this treasure currency here. Currently, there is not a shop opening. I don't know if that's about to change right now, or I just can't find it from what I can't see anything about this being available at the moment. So there doesn't seem to be a shop available right now. It's just something we can collect. You will be able to collect your general missions down at the bottom right. That's giving out new characters at the moment and giving out some stones for finishing everything, all of that. So those are there, and then you will also see that per node there will be different missions for those nodes specifically, and that will be at the bottom left, a little button called node missions. Now, finishing off these node missions can be very, very beneficial as you get a new thing called skill effects for certain cards. There are 5 out at the moment. You'll go to your normal team building, you'll go to skill effect, and at the top, instead of using special sticker, you switch over to the special effect tab, and it'll give you a little explainer here. But basically what happens is, as long as you unlock all the grades, it is a step-by-step thing to unlock all the grades. So if you have 1, 3, and 4, you only have access to 1, you won't have access to 2, 3, and 4. And you can turn on the different effects depending on which ones you want, really. You can turn all of them on if you want. If we go through each one here, you can see that just the stock standard card is just like this. Grade 1 gives you sort of like a rainbowy text on the name there. Grade 2 gives some cool effects to the card and puts in music. Grade 3 adds in like this sort of rainbowy spatter sort of pattern on the back there. Not the biggest fan of this, I might switch this one off, but you can. Nice, it's an option there. And finally, grade 4 gives you the movement to the card. So you've got this cool sort of moving effect with all the other effects applied at the same time. Now, if you want to know how to get the other special effects, you can go through to click on the cards here, and you'll just be able to go and click attempt. It'll take you straight through to the Frontier node that you need to do, and you can, if you have it unlocked, obviously you can start attempting that to get those cool effects. But that is pretty much all you need to know to get started in this event. I'm sure there's some other things we're going to discover as we go on, and I'm sure it's going to be quite fun doing some of the harder fights. All of that, I'll have guides on all of that as I go through it as well. This is very just releasing right now for me as well. Just thought I would get this out here to help anyone who's kind of struggling to understand what's going on here, as it is such a different mode. But yeah, that is pretty much it for me. I hope this helped. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.